Okay, well, welcome back, everyone. WeAwake community. It's great to be here with you again. And again, I'm still John Dupuy, last I looked, and CEO of iWake. And what we do, and this is the team here. That's Rex and Louie and Vanessa and Heidi. Not in that order. Rex is at the beach. Um, Louis is in a Jimi Hendrix room, I call it, and Vanessa is dwelling in darkness, and Heidi is in southern Utah, and I'm in northern Louisiana. How did that happen? Well, it's a family thing. So, and God bless all you Louisianians. My father comes from here, and he's a Cajun. Was a Cajun. I guess he's still a Cajun, and wherever we go after we lay the body down. But enough of that. Today we're going to listen to we're moving our way through a profound meditation 3.0, which is like the flagship product that we have. It's one of it really got us rolling at iAwake. It gave us our first kind of really great track to break through. We did a couple of things that are still good there, but it was just like maybe the third thing we ever produced. And I've used it for years, and it's 3 tiers of delta, and we're getting the second delta, which is a brainwave state, which is kind of it's really low, and the brain, a healthy brain will manifest a lot of that when you're deep dreamless sleep. So it's really good for just deep meditation where you can actually begin to just not think, and that takes a while. And the best you can do is just observe your thoughts in the beginning, I think. And after a while, what I can do this now. I've been meditating for a long time. Is just stop thinking when I stop thinking. I said, okay, enough, John. That's really good thoughts, but let's just be pure awareness now, without any thoughts. And then I can go into that. And it's just like anything else. It just takes time, patience, and practice. And with these new tools, these brain entrainment tools, I think it should. I'm very sure that it helps a lot, and your skills will grow a lot faster, and you will achieve a deep, transformative meditation practice much quicker, and so much quicker that it's inspiring, and you'll tend to stick to it. That's a problem. One of the problems with traditional meditation, it just takes a long time. Unless you're just this old soul who was a lama or something in a former life, and you just get it. And if you're a 5 on the Enneagram, you're not really meditating that good. You're just dissociating. There's a difference. Anyway, I won't get into that, but and you may not be. So, but let's do this together, and then I'll say a few words afterwards. And it's always good to have you here. And we, our people, our planet, all sentient beings need us to show up in the best versions of ourselves now, because as you probably know, we're going through really radical transitional times, and praying that we'll come out this being better, stronger, wiser, more connected, and more understanding, and more forgiving, and more tolerant, and accepting of one another, so we can get on and make this planet a beautiful place to be. And so let's take this step and listen to PMP, or Profound Meditation Program, Tier 2, Level 1. Well, welcome. Uh, Hope that was as good for you as it was for me. It's delightful uh, track. And as we get into tier 2 more and tier 3, they get really powerful. By the time we get to 2, 3, it's really powerful 20 minutes. So, yeah, I wanted to say just a bit about one of my favorite subjects, and that is practice. And it is something that I have explored, that I have talked about, that I've written about, that I have practiced. And if you want to develop any skill, whether it's your interior skill or your spirituality or anything, it just takes time and effort. And there's some really good popular books about that. The Talent Code, Talent is Overrated. One of the classics along the lines is Mastery by George Leonard. And one of the things I took away, it's a very short book. I think it's still in print. You can get it. And and he was a Aikido master, and he started studying Aikido when he was in his 60s. So he became a black belt or whatever step really high up there, and people would come from all over the world to study with him, for the next 20, 25 years. He was really something. And he wrote a book called Master, and he talks about it. He talks about just the master is the one that sticks to it, sticks with it. And it's true. I've made a study of all the great, musicians and athletes and people whose game and music I really admire, and practice, they just played and played and played and played and played. And sometimes they just isolated for themselves and worked on their skill. But I was at a recital in Salt Lake City some years ago, and I met it was a cellist called David Darling. Some of you probably heard of him. He's one of the best, really fantastic cellists. And at this particular recital, they were reading, I forget the main translator of Rumi poems was reading, and David was playing the cello accompaniment. Fantastic stuff. But I met him. There was a little, I don't know, get together before, and there were hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff like that. And I met him at the hors d'oeuvre stand or whatever, and I didn't know who it was. I'd never seen David Darling before. And a little small, well put together, man. And we started talking. I said, "Oh, you're playing tonight?" I said, "Yeah, I play too." And I just love it. And just to show you, I'm always next to my desk. I have a guitar, so when I'm not, I'm not doing stuff, I just pick it up and practice scales, practice songs, just put in the time. And I ask him, again, one of my favorite subjects, do you still practice? And he got this look on his face that I would characterize as holy terror, like awe and fear and deep reverence. And he goes, "Oh yes, every day, a lot," and then we were off to the races. And later on I heard from, I think it was Diane Hamilton, who had helped organize this event, the Zen teacher. She said, "Yeah, I talked to him. He really liked you." Why was that? Well, because we could connect on our love for music and practice. And one of the things that George Leonard says in the book Mastery is that you have, right, you start, and maybe you have a really good experience in the beginning when you start practicing, especially with WeAwake stuff, because a lot of people, their initial experiences are very powerful, but then you reach a plateau and you just kind of hang out, and then you don't seem to be making much progress. And then you hit this punctuated point of punctuated equilibrium, and you have this really high experience, and then you go back a little lower than the high of that high point, but then your next plateau is higher than the last one, and that's just how it goes. So and what George Leonard said in this book, the master, you have to fall in love with the plateaus too. When it doesn't feel like you're making a lot of progress, you just have to hang in there and stay with it. One of the things I practice is meditation. I work out. I try to listen to, wise people give talks. I mean, YouTube is amazing. You can listen to a lot of stupid stuff, but there's great stuff on there. A lot of wonderful podcasts, a lot of great books, and stay with that. And guitar playing. About when I was 50, I picked up. I played since I was like 13, but it was mainly just acoustic guitar and singer-songwriter stuff. And I said, I want to play the blues. I want to play like Eric Clapton, basically. I want to play like Jimi Hendrix. I want to play like B.B. King. And could I achieve that? And I don't know if I can play like those guys, but man, putting that as the goal certainly helped out. And where we moved here to take care of my aging mother-in-law, we bought a little house, and it's not a little house. It's not a mansion either, but anyway, it's a nice house, and it's right across the street from a club that has tennis courts and a place to work out. So it's like, ding, that probably sold me more than the house, that I wanted to stay here. And as it turned out, we've been here about 3 years altogether. So it's been an extended journey. But one of the things I started to do is taking lessons in tennis. And I played tennis. It started when I was about 30, and I played for about, I don't know, 20 something years without ever a lesson, just kind of watching TV and seeing what the pros would do, then trying to put it. Anyway, just an awful tennis form, I think I developed. And so I started learning it over. And I just had this crazy serve, a pancake serve, you hold it back and you hit the ball and it goes in the direction. That makes complete intuitive sense. But the pros pronate. You have to hold it different, and you have to hit it different. And it's not easy, And so I destroyed my tennis serve for at least 8 months. And I developed tennis elbow and got COVID. And anyway, my dear wife, who I play with a lot, and she's pretty good, better than me naturally. I worked really hard to compete with her. But she would just let me serve. You're supposed to serve twice and that's it, or you lose the point. Well, she said, just keep serving it each time till you get the damn ball in the box. Very patient with me, and did. Then finally we went to 3 serves, and now I'm back to 2 serves. But I hit that I'm just beginning to all that work and all that just being awful and not being able to serve for the better part of a year is starting to come together. And I'm playing with much greater consistency, much more power and control, which is what the game is all about. So it's nice to see the fruits of that happening. So I just encourage everyone to adopt a transformative practice, healing practice that focuses on your mind, your interior meditative work, exercise, and nutrition and wisdom. Go to the wise ones, listen to them, absorb their work, absorb their art, and make yourself a better person. And then whatever other areas that you feel called to do, but just you don't have to be great. It's a tortoise and the hare. If you have this great spurt and you get bored and you stop, you're not going to make much progress. But if you just stay with it, and also, what's the last little thing? If you've kind of fallen off the wagon of your meditative practice, it's really good to restart it with a really long session of meditation. So, I mean, this would be true of traditional meditation, but especially true with WeAwake. So if you do a 2-hour, 2.5-hour session with WeAwake technology, it'll do something to your brain, and it will get you back into the groove where after about an hour, the mind really stills and it just gets deeper after that. And you'll notice when you go back to your regular amount of practice time, whatever it is, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, you'll be back into it, and you'll be able to access these altered transformational states that we reach in meditation. So that's just a little tip. So have grit, right? Heroic stick-to-itiveness, and know why you're doing it, and let the practice inform you, and then you can inform your practice. In other words, the practice will show you what you need to do after you give yourself to it. And the final quote from what was it? He was a great African-American scientist. and he'd been in peanut butter and a whole bunch of things. Anybody remember him? Sorry, brother. But anyway, one of the things they asked him, he was being interviewed, he said, why, you know, you've done so many things and discovered so many things and invented, how did you do that? And he said, his response was, Washington is part of his name. Anyway, it'll come to me. He said, if you give yourself with love and dedication to whatever it is, it will begin to reveal itself to you. So if you want to study science, if you want to study quantum physics, you want to study art, music, meditation, if you just with passion and love and humility and just stick with it, it seems as if the subject or the object of your desire respects that and begins to, after it's tested you for a bit, begins to open and reveal itself to you. So I think we can leave it there. So anyway, let's all stick with it and live our callings. And if you don't know what your callings are, find them. And we'll be doing a vision quest coming up here probably next month. We've done it before. It's really fascinating. It was an incredible experience. I wasn't prepared for how well it worked. I mean, I kind of was, but it's just, wow, really? We can do this online and get these kind of results? And the answer was yeah. So we'll be talking more about that. So stick with it, develop grit, and stick-to-itiveness is a muscle also. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So be willing to be lousy at first, to be a beginner, to, you know, just kind of be awful and stick with it, and it will begin to reveal itself to you and through you, and you will get better. And the better you get, the better it is. You know, it's more fun as you achieve mastery in whatever it is you're working on. So that's it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you hopefully and feel you next time. And God bless, and let's stick to this noble path together and be the people that we were born to be, for those who came before us, for those who are here now, and for those who come after us. And not just humans, all sentient beings. Oh, thank you. God bless.